Morning.
Everything in a wanna.
He's a proper bloke. Everything in one journey. Like when you bring the shopping in from the car, the missus goes, "There's 20 bags." Right, they're coming in on one go.
Like that. All your fingers. Take it off, you got the line.
They go white at the tips, eh?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Let go forward. We're off. Bell Froster. Today we got Matt LeMaitre, Paul Maindy and Dennis McKane.
It's awfully nice of them.
It is nice. Just going past Platey now. So that's where we've come from, right down over there. That's where we're going up, right up past here. The Petty Cunnups. See, there's some tide on there, but Welcome back below the waves. We're now at 46 metres and this is the steam paddler, the Brighton. The irony about it is it's never bright, this one's always dark. And I've even adjusted the video here so you can see it. Before it is completely pitch black. So it's Matt's job to tie in today. Unlucky for us, the shot has gone right down between the paddle wheel. This is where we are, roughly on the shipwreck. This is the starboard side paddle wheel. It's now missing its protective cowling and a lot of its spokes. So the job is now, is Paul coming down the line, the job is now to tie in. Look at all this, look at the seaweed, lumps of seaweed flying over our head. No wonder why it's so dark. So Matt's having to reach down between the paddle wheel now. This is a brilliant bit of shotting, to be honest, because we weren't going to pull that out in a hurry. The thing is, it's awkward because we've now got some stage bottles on us and it's just awkward getting in between there. Very snaggy. Not the safest of things, but it has to be done. Looks like Matt saved the shot. There's been a casualty. We've knocked a spider crab off. I'm sure it'll be okay. So now it's a matter of getting this shot out of these spokes and tripping it. So it's putting the shackle onto the chain and then tie into something sturdy. And then we can go off and explore. The story behind this shipwreck was on the 29th of January 1887, whilst en route Weymouth to Guernsey, which you used to be able to do in about 5 hours 40 minutes, which is pretty quick. It hit the braes, rocks and fog. It drifted for 20 minutes and then sunk. Its sinking location was never known, and there was big money put up for anyone that could find the shipwreck. It never got found at the time until Richard Keane found it. A fisherman got his gear stuck in the shipwreck and he went down to release it and he found the shipwreck. So there is a bit of tide here. The shot line is heading in a northerly direction, slightly northwest actually. I've never dived this shipwreck where our shot line has been on this side of the boat when entering the water. Normally it's on the southern side, and as we do the dive it rotates around as the tide swings. So I think we've missed the tide on this one, but we're going to dive it anyway. A little bit of tides, as Keeney would say, it's character building. So we're going to go for a swim around the shipwreck. It's not very big, it's 316 tons. It's an iron ship built in 1856-57, and the owners used to be Weymouth and Channel Islands Steam Packet Company Limited, and they bought it in about 1858. It had a crew of 24 passengers, 30 to 40 tons of cargo, and the engines were a 2-cylinder 43 3/4 inch diameter and a stroke of 48 inches, and it had a really old type of haystack boilers on it. So the master was Thomas Painter, and he made about 816 voyages over 16 years from Weymouth to Channel Islands. Unfortunately, he had his certificates taken away for 6 months, but he was allowed to become the chief mate still. So the rocks are hit with the braes. A pilot found part of the hulls and some of the rivets on the rock. They were handed over to the local company's agent, and that was a bit of hope that they were going to find out where it was, but they never did. fish here are called bib, or we locally call them pelt. They taste really nice apparently. I think I had one years ago and I didn't like the smell of it. Put me off. Take a look at my bubbles, they're streaming out behind me. That's how much tide is here. Also look at the seaweed in the background. It's like a hailstorm of seaweed. We're now just entering the rear cabin area. The cabins have long gone and collapsed. Now there's only this part, which is the gunnel. You can see lost fishing gear inside. Take a look at this seaweed wafting in the tide. I think it's about time we turned around and went with the tide rather than against the tide. So now we're going to swim towards the bow area. This large rectangular box is just here below this rear funnel. Check out this is decayed timber. This is what it looks like. It's been down and under the sea for a while. On the 1st and 2nd of March 1887, an inquiry was held before the Wreck Commissioner in the Sessions House, Westminster, looking at all the circumstances leading to the stranding and the loss of the PS Brighton. It was found that the captain had been running at too fast a speed in poor visibility in thick fog. We're now just to the port side paddle wheel. This one's a bit more intact. You can see the pelt hiding there. Something catches my eye just here. It's a huge shanker or brown crab. Take a look at this pot rope that's just dangling in the tide. Just shows how much tide there actually is. This shipwreck is absolutely covered in these pelt. They are everywhere. There's got to be hundreds here. Let's continue on. I've only really got 18 minutes on this shipwreck, so let's try and see the front as well. We are now perfectly in between the two steam paddles. This would have been where the engine was. We're probably just above it. Here you can see a huge flywheel. Looks like other divers have tied into it at one time. Looks like a shot line that's been tied on. So this would have been the engine room. Let's take a look to see if we can see anything in this wreckage. Seems to be a lot of more modern stuff, ropes and fishing gear. Take a look at this. I love looking at this one. This box is just below the front funnel. There's always fish inside this one because it's a bit more broken up. I just take a very quick glance at my dive computer. 13 times on the bottom and 12 minutes total time to surface. That's quite reasonable. I'm going to leave at 18 minutes on the bottom and I want to be getting out of the water in 50 minutes. Everything is just so smashed up on this, and everything you touch is really frail. Mind you, it's been down here for 135 years, so it doesn't surprise me really. There's no point in looking for the bell on this shipwreck, because guess who's got it? That's right, our skipper Richie Keane found it. Let's go and have a look down towards the bow area. We've still got some time. He's pulled down here on his own. So this big lump below me now are a load of winches and stuff. Probably would have been used for weighing the anchor. It was traditional for these really old ships to have a very long pointed bow. This is pretty much where Paul is now, but it's sunk into the soft white sand. What I want to do now is I want to come back, and they got a really old type of boiler in these things called a haystack boiler, and if I'm right and looking on the schematics, this should be it here. Kind of looks right because look at the rivets and the water jackets. It's actually the right shape as well. Yep, this is the haystack boiler. Cool, look in there, there's a huge conger. You can just see his tail swimming away from me. Also, there's probably the biggest shrimp I've ever seen. Just here. It's massive. So if this is the boiler, to the left of the boiler this should be the coal bunker. And there we go. Some coal. This shipwreck is very rarely dived. I've probably only done it a handful of times myself. 15 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mill around near the shot line. I'm going to take a little look around these bits, see if I can see more stuff. As we've been swimming around, the pelt have been leaving the shipwreck and then coming back when we leave. Here you can see some old pot rope tied up. This is the starboard side paddle wheel, which is where we tied in. Everyone's got the same idea as me now. We're going to all head over. That's better when Matt can light it up rather than mine. One gives off a massive backscatter. That's quite a cool bit of footage there. So I'm now setting myself up to return to the surface. I'm at 17 minutes. By the time I get ready and pack my camera away and stuff, I'll be heading up. Gives me a chance to just come up a little bit higher and benefit from everyone else's lights on. So it's always better if you can get someone else to light the shipwreck up from a distance. You don't get that backscatter. Now Matt can see Paul and he's back on the line. He's going to start to untie our shot line. Very slowly coming back up the line, getting shallower so I don't log up any more decompression time. But I'm also waiting for them to untie just to make sure everything's alright, make sure they're coming up. We're all good. Let's slowly get back up to the surface now. I've got about 35 minutes to get back to the surface. I've got air in my back gas, and at 21 metres I'm going to swap onto my 50% in my stage bottle. I've left my strobe light on just in case something happens. You never know. If I release from the shot line, at least there's more chance that people are going to see me. Three-minute stop at 9 metres. This is the boring bit about tech diving. Matt's telling me about a lobster. Pinched his finger. Now I've got 15 minutes to do at 6 metres. It's going to be a long old wait. This is what we do normally. Just hover around. Sometimes we talk to each other. Sometimes we poke stuff that's in the water. Sometimes we wait for the jellyfish to turn up. We're right up against a glass ceiling. We can see the surface, but if we go up, potential we get a big bend. So we have to wait. Aha! Compass jellyfish has turned up. Matt's deco's cleared. This is his turn to go up. My deco's cleared, but I still want to do about 3-minute safety stop. I'll wait until 50 minutes. We've disconnected from the shot line. This is our lazy line. It's got our 100% O2 on, and we're just drifting with the tide. Having a staggered surface time helps. Now there's another diver on the boat with Dennis, which could take the stage bottles off a pool.
Oh, Dan.
Den's payment. 1 lobster. Matt's good to him. Mind you, Den's good to us. We got to run for it now, eh, Den? Because the weather's coming in.
Not going to be very nice. Going to be a bit splashy going home, lad.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't get wet.
I think we'll stay in our suits then. Mind you, my suit, this boot is completely full. Full of water about there. Got a nasty, nasty hole in it.
It's already done that many before. Oh, what we got here, JP? Oh, it's a little lobster.
That's a nice one. Big old claws, isn't it?
Eh?
That's a bobby down there.
Not bad, eh?
That's Den's tea, that.
There you go, Den. That's payment. And it's a male, so that's fine.
It is a male.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a male just looking at
Box
it.
there on the back of that.
It's a buster.
I nearly had to rip his claw off because he grabbed hold of my middle finger and wouldn't let go. He had all of my wrist seal and wouldn't let go of that, and I was stuck between the two. Going, oh, what do I do? At 45 metres, I'm tempted to rip his claw off. Yeah. It's getting quite painful.
Must be some sort of race on or a regatta. There's some more coming out of the harbour. Got to be some sort of regatta on because they got the tents up there, the yacht club, set up on the balcony. It's quite impressive seeing how many there is, with all their sails hoisted up. I can count 43. The harbour is. That's us back from the Brighton. So that's the steam paddler. There's not many of them steam paddlers that left to dive anymore. There's like a handful in the world. So we're lucky. We got 3 within 2.5 miles of each other. The other 2 are smashed up and heavily salvaged. I won't mention who by, but you can imagine who by. Yeah, it just got ripped apart. But anyway, that was the Brighton, and it was very tidal. It was very deep at 46 metres, but I enjoyed myself. Doesn't matter if there's a bit of tide. The other boys had single 15s on. I had twin sets on, so obviously I'm like a sail in the tide, trying to swim against it. But I was happy. The shot went down in between the paddle wheels, which was a good shot, but also a bit of a nightmare. 1, we don't want to damage a wreck, to be honest, and 2, it's just a nightmare to get back out. It's Matt, look. But anyway, we're going to go get some bacon sandwiches now and a coffee. So I'll catch you on the next tide.